Kang the Conqueror versus Thanos. The villain battle. Who wins? Kang and Thanos both represent some of the greatest villains in the MCU. What if they were destined to go head to head? Or perhaps their paths crossed and their interests clashed? For instance, what if they both stumbled upon an object that could give them unlimited power, like the Infinity Stone controlling time? If they had to fight for it, who would come out on top? In this video, we place them side by side to determine who would win. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Kang. Kang the Conqueror started out as a regular guy named Nathaniel Richards. He was originally born in the 40th century, and perhaps he wasn't regular after all. He was a very capable physics scientist who improved on the work of his father and mentor by coming up with a workable time machine. And if you're conversant with how time travel works, then you know that anytime someone time travels, the timeline branches off and results in alternate versions of the time traveler. So, essentially, Kang has made many more versions of himself across time. And these versions of himself are spread out from the past to the future. There's even a council of Kangs that meets occasionally. This was shown in the mid-credits scene for the Ant-Man Quantum Universe movie released in 2023. They include Pharaoh Rama-Tut, who is the version of Kang that traveled back in time to rule an Egyptian dynasty. There's also one version named Immortus, and your guess is as good as ours regarding the name, which points to immortality. There's the Scarlet Centurion, Victor X Prime, Chrono Monitor, and countless others. That last one is a shout out to washes in general. After all, Kang mostly deals with time. Then you also have Victor Timely, who is an incarnation of Kang and is set to feature in the second season of Loki. Remember, the first season had the TVA, or Time Variance Authority, and the very last scene of the season finale had a giant statue of Kang overlooking the TVA headquarters buildings? Kang also had sons and wives who took on his name at one point or another. But what's in a name? Apparently, Kang is feared far and wide across multiple timelines. If you think there's not enough of him being featured in films, there's some good news. We know that Jonathan Majors played Kang in the Quantum Leap movie, and so he is set to reprise his role in two other Avengers movies coming up in 2025 and 2026. The first is titled Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, while the follow-up is titled Avengers: The Secret Wars. We're certainly looking forward to that. There's also the second season of the Loki series, which will be released sometime in 2023. In the first season, Jonathan Majors debuted as Kang, and the story continues in the upcoming season, where Victor Timely will be the version of Kang that is played out on screen. Victor Timely is a different version of Kang from the one overseeing the TVA. That one was called Chrono Monitor 616, and he came about when Kang traveled back in time to Egypt, thus creating an alternate timeline. Chrono Monitor was found and recruited by the TVA and has since become the chief authority there. Victor Timely, however, is a version of Kang from the 18th century, if we're to go by the promo trailers for the second season of Loki. Our fingers are crossed on how the story will turn out. For someone who built a time machine, Kang has traveled through time a lot. One purpose of going back in time to Egypt was so he could be the one to bring about the apocalypse. You remember the ultimate villain from the X-Men film installment? That was supposed to be Kang's son, but Kang's devious plan was stopped by the Fantastic Four, who also found themselves in that same time anomaly. Kang then runs away to the future and takes on the title of the Scarlet Centurion. Again, he is thrown out of that timeline by the Avengers and becomes Victor X. The next stop for him is the distant future, where he discovers a war-torn Earth. He works his magic and is able to easily subdue the Earth. He becomes Kang the Conqueror and tries to expand his rule throughout the galaxy. Kang's powers include being an extraordinary genius. He is a physicist and historian who specializes in time travel. This ability has enabled him to gather technology from different timelines and dimensions for his own benefit. As such, he wears futuristic armor that makes him untouchable. It is an energy suit that can project force fields and enhance his strength. The armor also includes a 30-day reserve of food and water to sustain its wearer. The suit of armor can also hack into any form of technology to control it. And coupled with Kang's time-traveling ship, Kang really becomes invincible. Kang also carries an ultra-diode ray gun that can incapacitate anyone with superhuman abilities. Thanos. Thanos is yet another powerful supervillain, and it seems there are quite a few of them. Thanos' parents were originally Eternals. Remember the Eternals movie from 2021? Yeah, two of those guys conceived Thanos. So he's some kind of Eternal, deviant warlord in every sense of the word. He was born on Titan, which is one of the moons of Saturn, and by virtue of the blood that flows through him, he is regarded as one of the most powerful beings in the MCU. Thanos was born to the Eternals named Alars and Sui-San. He also has a brother named Eros of Titan. At birth, his mother tried to kill him because she suspected he was going to be a destroyer of worlds, but her husband stopped her, and so Thanos was allowed to live out his days. As a child, he was introverted. You don't believe it, do ya? It's the same Thanos from the Avengers who wiped out half the galaxy. Yeah, he was timid as a child, and maybe we should have seen it coming. But by the time he grew into adolescence, he was already nursing crazy ambitions. He especially liked an entity called Mistress Death, and even swore his love for her. This love would eventually drive him to do some pretty crazy things to win her admiration. As an adult, Thanos tried to enhance his abilities with a genius-level grasp of science. He even tried to father children in the hope that it would extend his life. He also got a job as a pirate. But then Mistress Death enchanted him, and so he killed all his children as well as his pirate boss in a bid to impress her. He didn't stop there, but gathered an army of evil aliens to conquer his home planet. Titan was bombarded with nuclear weapons, resulting in the death of most of its inhabitants. Thanos essentially killed his own people for this mistress figure. Next on his agenda, Thanos visits Earth to obtain the Cosmic Cube. It is so he can increase his powers and possibly become omnipotent. But Captain Marvel and the Avengers are able to destroy the cube, which is the source of his powers. Aside from the cube, Thanos has other sources of power he draws from. He has titanium and eternal blood flowing through him, and that alone would have been enough. But Thanos went ahead to enhance this part of him through mysticism and bionic amplification. The result was that Thanos became fast and strong. He is also immortal and invulnerable. Thanos can redirect energy and is capable of telekinesis. He never gets hungry or thirsty. His body never ages or gets sick. In addition, he is good at hand-to-hand combat. Thanos also operates from a dedicated base named the Sanctuary. Thanos vs. Kang. Thanos is virtually indestructible on a physical level, while Kang is merely a human with an advanced bodysuit. So Thanos has physical power on his side, and Kang can only attempt to hurt him with futuristic weapons. Perhaps one of those weapons can take Thanos down like the gauntlet the Avengers used. Kang has access to both future technology and alien technology. He probably has a trick up his sleeve against Thanos when the time comes. Otherwise, Thanos would come up tops against Kang in face-to-face combat. Also, remember how the Avengers went back in time to defeat Thanos? Well, Kang has an entire army of himself across the multiverse who can most definitely work together to defeat Thanos if he is deemed a threat. Moreover, Kang is a master of strategy, not least with his Council of Kangs, who can collectively strategize to defeat Thanos without even throwing one blow. Thanos can be cruel, and this might put Kang off. Kang usually likes a fair fight, and Thanos would do anything to win, so that's one up for him. Moreover, Thanos has challenged and defeated godlike beings in the past, so he is experienced in that department. Thanos himself is part demigod by inheritance. Kang, for his part, knows that gods are on a different level than the MCU portrays them. All the technology Kang wields has no effect in the supernatural world. Ultimately, Thanos is a greater villain than Kang, pound for pound. Thanos has in fact done worse things than Kang in his lifetime, so in the pure villainy department, Thanos wins. He has done terrible things that Kang can only hope to aspire to. Kang is more of an overlord who divides and conquers, while Thanos is pure cruelty in living form. Finally, Kang has time in his hands as the self-proclaimed master of time. Kang has been known to summon helpers within certain timelines to defeat his enemies. And just like the Avengers did, Kang can go back to a place where Thanos was defeated and learn how. Then he can use that same knowledge to defeat Thanos. Or, better yet, he could simply go back in time to when Thanos was born and end things nicely there. But no. Apparently, Kang is an honorable being and would rather defeat Thanos fair and square. So thanks for watching, and please endeavor to tell us in your opinion who you think is a better villain. Leave your comments below. Cheers!